Humanitarian aid and false pretense for war in Libya is the reason behind this video. So I'm going to read to you from Boston.com, website of the Boston Globe. Alan J. Kupperman is the author of this article. Here you go. Evidence is now in that President Barack Obama grossly exaggerated the humanitarian threat to justify military action in Libya. The president claimed that intervention was necessary to prevent a bloodbath in Benghazi, Libya's second largest city and last rebel stronghold. But Human Rights Watch has released data on Misrata, the next biggest city in Libya and scene of protracting fighting, revealing that Muammar Qaddafi is not deliberately massacring civilians, but rather narrowly targeting the armed rebels who fight against the government. Misrata's population is roughly 400,000. Okay, folks, so here we go. Pay attention, so I'm going to move really quick. Muammar Qaddafi, born 1942. It is 2011, folks. Listen up. Okay, he first took power in 1969 by forming a military coup when the active or acting leader at the time in Libya was away receiving some medical attention. Okay, he has ruled for 42 years, folks. Okay, 1986, he was accused of doing some bombings of some planes and some terrorism issues. Also, was led to sanctions in 1993, folks. 1993. Then the very same countries that put those sanctions on Libya and Qaddafi are the same ones performing the actions today. The United States, France, the UK, and not to mention the Italians, the Italy boys, okay? So I want you to know that humanitarian aid is another excuse for multinational corporate gangsterism. Okay, folks? Corporate gangsterism. And we will continue to illustrate this point. Now let's talk about the three women that got us in this mess. All of our ambassadors to the UN and our foreign aid, heads of foreign aid. Let's talk about Miss Hillary Clinton. As we all know, she is the Secretary of State and loves to meddle in others' affairs. Okay? Then we have Samantha Powers, who has made her reputation arguing that the United States has to that the United States has a moral responsibility to rally the world to stop genocide and human rights violations. A moral responsibility to rally the world to stop genocide and human rights violations. What about the American genocide? What about genocide in other countries such as the Sudan, the Ivory Coast, and Yemen? And we also have Miss Susan Rice, who is the U.S. ambassador to the UN. Okay, folks. So we have a lot of different players in this game. Okay, part of the corporate gangsterism. You have another guy by the name of Hiftar, Hiftar. Okay, he was a colonel or commander in the army for Libya under Qaddafi during the 80s and was arrested when they went to war with Chad. Okay, he spent the last 24 years in America, roughly 20 minutes outside of D.C. in Virginia, folks. In Virginia, last 24 years here. Now they put this guy in command of the rebel forces. Not to mention, if Qaddafi is such a bad person and out there, which he has done some crazy and some atrocious things, but why are our public figures hanging out with the guy? You know, he's paying Beyonce, he's paying Nelly Furtado, Mariah Carey, Usher, all do to perform for his sons, right? But all of a sudden, he's a bad man and is killing people. Again, multinational corporate gangsterism. Folks, you have to pay attention to these people. It's so it's crazy when you think about it. So, what if, or knowing Libya's resources that they have, which sitting on, the sweet crude variety of oil, and having the number one oil reserve in Africa, not to mention the fact that he has all of this gold. We have to get that money and get him out of there and destabilize the whole Middle East, folks. The whole 9 yards. They're going for the big kit and caboodle. But this is what I want to talk about, and that is humanitarian aid and its blatant prostitution. We've had so many different things go on in other countries, whose exports are mainly broccoli. From Gerald Salente, folks. What if, they just produce broccoli? We wouldn't care. Like in the Sudan, like in the Ivory Coast, folks, like in Yemen. All of these horrible events where people are actually getting killed, and there's proof of it. With proof that the people are being slaughtered, and we don't take any type of action, as according to Miss Samantha Powers would say, to stop genocide and human rights violations. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Look, it's right in front of your face. Right there. What humanitarian aid gets other people around the world. And the UN. Terrible. And what about depleted uranium? Depleted uranium. Please take the time to search what depleted uranium ammunitions are doing to all of the countries that the United States is involved in. It is atrocious. And under the auspices of stopping genocide and human rights violations, we're there. American genocide is the disease. Chew on that, folks. Till then, Afro Prepper, and I'll catch you on the flip side.